I'm just going to go with that. So Zahin is up first with accessibility. Does the needs of the many always outweigh the needs of the few?
Hello. Do you mind if I share my screen?
Go for it, and Ado and I will drop off camera and you can have the spotlight.
Yep, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yep, here you go. So, good day, everyone. And today I kind of wanted to, come out here and give you guys a little talk about what is accessibility. So before we start off, I would kind of like to talk about who I am. I am Zahin Shahriar bin Khair, but you can call me Zahin. I'm currently in my third year studying software engineering bachelor's degree at Monash. And while I'm here at Ristec, right now I'm working with CX Search. A few of the things about me, I really like writing code to the point of where it's also a hobby for me. I really like doing video editing. I kind of have a YouTube channel that I don't want to talk about. I play too much video games. I listen to a lot of metal music and, Dungeons and Dragons always going on the weekends. But with that intro kind of out of the way, I guess we start on the topic. So what is accessibility? In the very basis of it, it's basically the ease of access. Sorry, the ease of an ability to access something. Specifically in this context, I'm going to be talking about kind of like tech, or like from the design point of view, kind of like let's say talk about websites or softwares or apps. So with accessibility, we want anyone and everyone to be able to view and interact with the information that anyone else can. So when we kind of like talk about everyone, who are these people that we want to bring to the forefront? So these are, I have kind of like listed out like three main types of disability that these people have that we sort of want to kind of take a look at. First one being sensory disabilities. So people who are colorblind, people who have hearing loss, people who have low vision, sort of that. Yeah. Then we have people who have mobility disabilities, people with impaired limbs, people who have limited dexterity, people with cerebral palsy. And last but not the least, we have people with cognitive disabilities. So people with dyslexia, people with memory loss, brain injuries, and also people with anxiety issues. With that out of the way, now that we know who we are kind of working for in this sense, what can we do to help? Well, first things first, whenever we're making something, we want to design it in a way so that it's inclusive. There's kind of a lot of detail and a lot of techniques that kind of go into it that I don't want to go too deep into, because this is just like a introductory talk just to get everyone up to date on the idea that I'm trying to talk about. So I'm going to give you a very high level two-step way of maybe kind of like achieving this on the next thing that you might be working on. First, let's allow access using multiple senses. Input or output as well to anything should not just depend on one of our senses. It should not just be visual, or it should just not be touch based. What do I kind of mean when I say that? Well, let's talk about an example. Let's say if we talk about the push notification, in today's world, all of us have a phone and we've all had notifications at some point. If depending on the settings on your phone, you would have noticed that your phone gives out a vibration as well as the ding. So that's what I kind of mean by like this multimodal interaction. It's interacting with you by your sense of touch, as well as that sound that's happening with the ding. On the other end, if we're talking about input, or sorry, not input, it's the output, my bad. We can also talk about screen readers, which kind of help people with low vision. When you are sort of trying to read some text on a screen, not only are you getting that visual output of that text being on there, you have this voice telling you what is on the screen. So, kind of helping you out there a bit. Moving on to the next step, this is very basic. Everyone kind of already does this in most things, but it helps to kind of like strengthen that idea a little bit. We want to make things as simple as possible. So for example, if you are designing an UI, we want to use a sort of color contrast that makes things easier to read, specifically kind of like places on the website that we want people to interact with. Yeah, kind of like that, depending on what you're designing. Also, if we're kind of talking about apps and such, we kind of want it to be easy for people to kind of like look at a button, and when they tap it, they always get that input on that button, to allow for a slightly imprecise tap or input, by kind of like making it easier to interact with this item. Again, the same idea is being pushed, ease of use.
5 minutes.
But, oh, sorry about that. But yeah, these are just the basics. You can obviously do a lot more. Maybe have a colorblind mode, maybe have text alternative for images that are hard to look at. Use familiar representations for things like use the floppy disk for the save button, things like that. And with that, my basic talk is done here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was great. We have time for one question if someone wants to ask. There was one question about what kind of metal do you like to listen to?
Oh, metal. Right now, I guess I'm really into, that's a very good question. I'm really into technical death metal right now.
There we are. All right. Thank you very much. And we will move on to Luke.
Thank you.